We just bought the tallest building in Oregon, east of the Cascades, and we're going to talk all about it today on the Furlo Capital Real Estate Podcast, where we dive into the intricacies of passive real estate investing. And our mission is to equip people to invest wisely in both properties and people, especially really tall properties, so that together we can build wealth while improving housing. I'm James, and this is my wife, Jessie.
This sounds so exciting. I mean, I've been hearing, of course, all along the way of different pieces of this, but...
Yeah, do you have a guess on how long I've been working on this particular deal?
Well, is this like from the first offer? Or,
Sure, whatever.
I don't know, like a couple years? A year?
Well, I found out about the property probably a year and a half ago.
Okay.
Put in an offer probably 4 or 5 months ago.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's been a deal in the work. It is my first official syndication. So I've got a group of investors who have gone into it with me.
Yeah.
And it's super, super cool.
It is cool.
If you're watching this on video, Daniel, I'm going to have you put some B-roll here so you can see pictures of it. It's super cool. Mm-hmm. It is 10 stories tall.
Yeah, it's very
so there's
tall.
actually 9 stories of like rentable space, and then there's kind of a cupola. Cupola.
Yeah.
Up at the top, but there's all like cell tower equipment up there. And so it's got all sorts of really cool stuff to it. So first floor, it has a taco shop for starters, which is delicious. But it also has fireside room and a ballroom, because this used to be a hotel. It was the old Baker City Hotel. Oh, I should say the name. It's called the Baker Tower.
Yay.
You can actually go to Google, search for the Baker Tower or just Baker Tower, and you'll see it.
They have a website that has like
information
information about
it.
it.
They have now taken it down.
Oh,
now that I bought it, I think that was.
You have to do your own website.
Apparently, yes. I think it was a. They actually had a whole bunch of really cool historic photos on there, and so I kind of want to reach out and be like, "Hey, can I get those?" Yeah, I went to the web archive and I got a lot of them.
Interesting.
But anyways, had a cool website. It's gonna have an even cooler website.
There you
go.
Bit.
And so anyways, ballroom, first floor, and then there's an elevator because it's super tall. And like the first 5 floors are all like commercial type of stuff. And then floor 6, 7, 8, 9 are residential. Like I said, and then 10 there's some cell towers that are up on top. And this was a crazy deal. So one of the things that we did, and we actually talked about this in a previous episode, was one of the cell towers we were able to sell. And so instead of collecting rent over time, I essentially got a big cash payment up front, and now there'll be another company who collects the rent. Over time. And that went towards the down payment. So that was $400,000 towards the down payment, which was fantastic, which meant I only had to come up with $230,000 for the remainder of the down payment. But there's also some other projects and things, like there's some roofs that need to be replaced and fixed, and we want to have a reserve account and all sorts of stuff. So I ended up raising $550,000 to purchase this $1.65 million property. And so, so super exciting. Yeah, we just recently closed on it. Yeah. And it was a Herculean effort to get there. And I kept thinking like, oh my gosh, this is like to the starting line. Yeah. Now the marathon begins.
I remember that, there was just a lot of back and forth that seemed like with, you doing due diligence, asking questions, going to visit the place. And then that's when negotiations started, where it was like, okay, we got to work through this.
Yeah. So I initially offered him $1.8 million, which is what he was asking for it. And then I got over there and, did the 6-hour drive over there and spent a day, like a solid day. I got there the night before, spent the entire day just running around all over the property with one of my brokers. And we looked at everything. I actually have I made a 360 degree video showing everywhere. Yeah. Well, not everywhere, because there were some places that they were like, don't put video in here.
Sure.
So I didn't. But yeah, so it's like, it's
maybe,
over an hour.
Maybe you should link to some B-roll, have some B-roll or something over the top that's like.
Daniel, you hear that? You want to link? I want you to link to that 360
video. Just like the top that's like.
Oh, yeah. Whoa. Yeah, so we went onto the roof.
Gives you the willies.
And the roof is sloped, and it's 10 stories up.
Yeah.
And you feel it, man.
High.
I definitely was like, oh, yeah. Interestingly, so we went up there first thing, And then later on, we had a roofer come to look at the roof. And I was actually a lot better the second time around. I was like, oh, yeah, I got this.
I've done this before.
Not a big a deal.
Nope.
Yeah,
I'd still be nervous.
Still really tall. But yeah, when you look at it if you throw on some VR goggles and look at it, like,
yeah,
you're like, oh man, you get the butterflies.
Yeah, you get the.
Because at one point we take the camera and we put it over the edge to look at it.
Stabilize yourself.
Yeah, this was a building that was built in 1929, I think. So we're coming up on 100 years.
Yeah,
which is kind of fun. And my goal is to own it for a really long time.
Yeah.
I love to own it forever, but the current plan with the investors is it's a 10-year hold. And then sometime within the 10 years, we're going to refinance. And kind of depending on when that happens, some of it has to do with interest rates and some of it has to do with different ways that we're going to increase the revenue of this property. Like, for example, right now, the fireside and the ballroom are empty. And my plan is to create an event space for it. And
they haven't been being rented out.
Correct. Yeah, they've just been empty. And then the 9th floor currently has a long-term tenant in there. And I'll probably create some financial incentives for them to move on. And then we're going to turn it into a vacation rental. Yeah. Because vacation rentals are interesting because, there was this time period where it was like, oh, you buy any random house in any random neighborhood and you can rent it out. It's awesome. And that has become a lot less the situation. Now you need to have a reason for them to go. And it could be something about the city itself. Like we're in Corvallis, there's OSU, they do a lot of sports stuff. So a random house could reasonably work, but you want some sort of attraction or you want the property itself to be intrinsically interesting.
Yeah.
Like, you remember when we went to Spain, one of the Airbnbs we chose kind of had this forest theme.
Yeah.
What about it? Like, didn't matter. It was a random place in the middle of the city, but we chose it because we're like, oh, this looks cool.
Yeah.
So this one on the 9th floor has an inherently like 360-degree view of the valley.
Yeah.
That's cool.
It's very cool.
And that's obviously what we're going to highlight and go for. And
plus the history of Baker City just in and of itself is interesting for people, and there's things to do around there. Fishing, hiking, that kind of stuff. So
yeah, no, totally true. Like I said, it was originally a hotel, and it was a hotel back when they filmed the movie Paint Your Wagon. And so that was where the cast and crew stayed during the filming of that movie. So Clint Eastwood has stayed in this building, which some people is cool, and others are like, well, okay, all right, it's less cool. So yeah, so pretty cool. Paint Your Wagon is one of my uncle's favorite movies of all time. So he's like, he's super pumped for me. He's like, I'll have to come stay. But yeah, super cool. I kind of want to run through some of the numbers and ratios of this thing. Essentially, when I do a deal like this, I put together a web page. Oftentimes investors have slide decks that they make, and that's cool, but I'm cooler. So I do a website, and I can embed videos and pictures and spreadsheets and link out the stuff. And it's just cool.
Yeah, it's more dynamic.
And so it starts off with me talking about how awesome it is. So yeah, I bought it for 1.65. Hold period is for 10 years. And the total cost of the project, I had it at 1.97 million. So just under 2. Again, because we got some stabilization stuff, we're going to put about $150,000 into making it better.
Sure.
Part of it is like buying tables and chairs for the event space and buying beds and stuff for the vacation rental.
Sure.
Most of it's going to the roof. I have there's some ratios, which if you listen to last week, ratios are really important. I've been telling everyone, so there's like the top line numbers, there's your annualized return, which is like what you get for your return on investment on average over time. Your cash on cash return, your equity multiple, and then your internal rate of return.
Okay.
And your internal rate of return is essentially your annualized return, but taking into account time. So in theory, it's typically lower than your annual return. And then your equity multiple it's just your return on investment, but not as a percentage. So in this case, the annualized return is 18%, which is great. But oftentimes those returns are goosed by you selling the property at the end of the day. And so this is one where if you wait 10 years, the building slowly goes up in value over time. So you're going to sell it for more. Again, it doesn't take into account time. And so the longer you hold on to it, the longer your annual return is going to be. So you want to take into account time, which is where you get your internal rate of return. So that's 13%. As a general rule, like that's pretty good. That's a good return. And that's the kind of thing that you can compare that-ish to the stock market-ish.
So what you're telling me is if I invested some X amount of dollars, I would get 13% back on top of that.
No. Your actual return, so your equity multiple in this case is 2.8x. So this is saying if you invested $100, you would get $2.80 back eventually, which is a great return, right?
Okay.
But you got to wait 10 years to get it.
Is that a great return?
Well, if you were to think of it in terms of like the stock market, maybe you get like 8%. If you put $100 in, you get $8 back. I'm saying, well, you get $1.08 back. Does that make sense? You get your original dollar plus your $8. So you get, it'd be a 1.8. This is a 2.8. So it's saying if you put $1 in, you'll get $2.80 back. Like it's great. You just got to wait to get it. That's the trick, which is why that internal rate of return is so important. But what I've been telling everyone to pay attention to is the cash on cash, which is the 8%, which is the return solely from collecting rents. It's totally ignoring an eventual sale or refinance of the property.
That's what I like.
Because I want to hold on to it forever. So I don't care about that. Which 8% is not amazing. It's not like, what's that? Like our very first duplex that we bought was 52%.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Off the hook.
Yeah.
In this case, it's not that, but honestly, it's going to be it's stable, it's consistent, and it's backed by something real that you could eventually sell.
Yeah.
If you wanted to get more out of it. And like I said, it is the tallest building east of the Cascades, which is cool. Let's see here. There's about 35,000 square feet. So it's by far the biggest building that I bought just in terms of like size, because our apartments are 10,000 square feet to put it in.
That puts it in perspective.
So 4 times that size. But interestingly, the apartments are, where is this number? I don't think I wrote it down anywhere. Our apartments are 11 units. This one, geez, I didn't write it down anywhere, it's right there, is 20. If you include the cell towers, it's 23 units. If you get rid of them, it's 21 units.
Okay.
I think they count. They're like tenants. They pay rent. I don't know. It's kind of a weird. So yeah, so it's 4 times the size, but only twice as many tenants.
Interesting.
Which it's the commercial stuff, right? It just takes
it's a
tremendous amount of
bigger
space.
Spaces.
Yeah. Let's see here. What is interesting about it? Oh, one of the really fascinating things is the heating and cooling system in the building. I had to learn a whole lot about that, more than I ever thought I would have to learn. So in big towers like this, not everyone has, well, they each have individual units, but it has a unified system. So there's actually there's a set of pipes that's like a loop that go up and down the entire building. And inside these pipes are water. And it's a big heat pump system. So when there's a bit of black magic here that happens, but there's a cooling tower that's on top that essentially cools down the water. Okay. And then the heat, the
boiler,
the heat systems
heater
inside each room take that hot water or take that cold water and use that to cool off the room. They essentially extract the cold out of it to cool down the air. They use the cold water to cool down the air, and then they blow it in the room. So that's how you cool off the room.
Sure.
Yeah, I know. Another way to think about it is in the basement, they can flip a switch and they can turn on some boilers, which then heat up the water. Now you have hot water running through the pipes. And now these units grab the hot water to heat up their elements, kind of, and then they push hot air into the rooms. So it's kind of like...
It's weird.
Everyone is either using their heaters or their air conditioner. That's kind of the choice.
Yeah.
Now, this building, back in 1929 when they were being built, almost none of them had a cooling mechanism. It's just a heater. So this one is actually like, for its time, was very cutting edge.
Interesting.
Today, it's less so.
And it's original to the 1929.
I feel like the cooling towers was added after the fact.
Yeah.
But yeah, the system is original. And interestingly, you can't just do like a ductless system because it's a historic building. They're not going to let you put a bunch of these heat pump things all over the place. And you can't just put them all on the roof because they can't reach the upper floors because those systems can only go so far. And so you'd have to like stick them to the side of the building, and they're like, yeah, no, you're not allowed to do that. So kind of stuck with this system.
Yeah.
But yeah, apparently this was a source of a lot of trouble for the current owner because people kept trying to use the systems in such a way that it didn't work. and once I learned about it, I was like, oh, like this system works.
Yeah, you just have to
there's an education
get everybody on the
here.
same page.
Everyone know, hey, heaters are on. Don't try to cool off your place.
Yeah.
Sorry. And I think part of what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, yeah, just buy a space heater. And like if you want to heat up your room, dead of winter, it will always work. But like when we're in that, it's when you're in the fall and spring, it gets a little weird.
Sure.
That's what I'm like, hey, we're going to have the cooling tower on. So use a space heater in the morning, and then in the afternoon, just turn on the main thing and you'll be fine. Yeah, I don't even think window units are allowed because that's a heck of a fall. Let's see, what else is... Oh, here's another really interesting thing about it that made it a good buy, is each individual floor is technically a separate condo.
Yeah, I remember you saying that earlier on. I was like,
if we had to...
You could sell a floor.
We could sell it to 10 different people.
That is so weird to me. Like the whole concept of condos in general is weird to me because it's like you still share the building. Like you don't really own.
We just have an HOA. That's all. So that's why HOAs exist, right? Because you have all the shared stuff. So you create a centralized organization that governs. Here's how everyone
uses all the things.
Rules. Yeah. It's just the same thing. It's just instead of it being individual homes, they're all connected. This doesn't have an HOA because it doesn't need one because it has a single owner. But if we decided to break it up and sell it, and that's like my first choice would be eventually to find just a single owner, sell it to them. But if that for whatever reason doesn't make sense, we would form an HOA and then sell off all the different parts. So it gave me multiple exit strategies, which I really liked.
So how would I say this? I don't know. If you were going to sell different pieces of it, do you think you would group different floors, I guess, to be like a commercial buyer and a residential type of buyer or something?
What was cool about it, so like that top floor, that'd just be like a single family home essentially.
Sure.
The rest of the residential ones are all duplexes. So that's what you would pitch it. Hey, buy a duplex. That's part of a building.
Interesting.
And then, you try to tell someone like, hey, you can house hack it, right? Live in one side, rent out the other. And then he's making me really nervous. And then for the commercial, you'd probably try to find, I don't know, I wouldn't be surprised if you found just someone who was like, yeah, I want to own all the commercial spots. Yeah. Or you sell them as owner operators. Like, for example, one of the floors is just one tenant. Be like, hey, I'm selling this. Are you interested in buying? You be the owner of it. Yeah. And do something like that. So, well, my nervousness was well warranted as he hits it, but that's okay. It happens. My other plan is to manage it myself. Even though I am 6 hours away. Yeah. But I have a property management business and we've got a bunch of systems and tools in place to manage it. And then I'm going to hire someone local to be essentially the facilities manager. Yeah. And so their job will be to do setup and take down for the event space, to do clean for the vacation rental, probably some really light handyman type of work. And then for heavier duty stuff, it'll be, hey, let's find someone and you meet them and let them in. And when new tenants come, give them the tour.
Like, are you going to ask them to live on site?
No, I don't think they need to.
Just locally there.
I will probably make an offer to someone who already lives there, depending on who I'm talking to. Sure. And I might end up splitting it up between a couple people, right? Like there might be like, hey, do you want to be my tenant person? Sure. And
you're my events person.
Do you want to be my events person? Do you want to be my cleaner person? Like I could split it up between a few people. There's some big perks to doing it that way.
But you'll have local people doing the hands-on day-to-day operations.
Yeah. That's one of the things that was going against this deal was that it's in Baker City. Yeah. And their population is small. It's like just over 10,000 and it's just flat. It's like, it just shrinks or grows between 1% and 2% every year. Yeah. So, it's not shrinking, but it's just flat.
It's not like booming either.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And then LeGrand is probably the closest quote to big town. Boise's 2 hours away, which is like the big one. Yeah. But across the state lines and technically different time zones, which is weird.
That is kind of weird.
Yeah. You go an hour east to Ontario and it's a new time zone. Like right on the edge of that, which I thought was interesting. Their economy, it's kind of interesting. It's, I don't know, down to flat. They have a really tight housing market. There's actually a lot of people who I was talking to, like, oh, just turn the entire thing into condos or just residential, like kick out all the commercial people and just turn it into big residential because there's a need for housing.
Wow.
I was like, yes, I get that. But the cost to do it is a lot. And so you'd want to sell sooner rather than later in order to pull off. And I don't want to sell. So, yeah. So the business plan really is to, like I said, it's to bring property management in-house. It's to reposition the ballroom as an event space. It's to convert the top floor into a vacation rental. We're going to do some minor capital things like fixing some rooms. We sold 1 of 2 cell towers, so that is now officially done. And then we have that exit flexibility with it. So that's kind of the plan.
It's awesome
for it. Yeah, it's pretty fun.
And to take a trip, so like a family trip.
Take a family trip.
We can visit the tower.
Yeah. So some other interesting ratios, if you're into those kind of things, is the occupancy rate. We estimate that it's at like 93%, but our break-even rate is at 78%. So if we have a bunch of people leave, that's when we'll break even. So we've got some flexibility there. So that's an important ratio that I care a lot about.
Do you think a bunch of people will leave?
No, I don't actually. No.
That's good.
Now, as a matter of fact, there was one tenant who was threatening, a commercial tenant who was threatening to leave. And when he found out it was being sold, he's extended his lease for like almost another year.
Oh, interesting.
And I think he's kind of like, let's see how this
hopeful.
goes with James on board. At least that's what I like to think what he's doing. Sure. So one of the interesting things, another thing is this, I could not talk about it until now. There's certain SEC rules where if you're doing what are the acronyms? A 506, an R regulation D 506 or regulation 506 reg D, whatever. There's a B in there. The B is what's important, which essentially says you can have non-accredited investors invest, but you're not allowed to advertise if you do that, including talking about the deal on podcasts and stuff.
Yeah.
You can still talk generally, which is often what we do here, but you can't talk specifically about that particular deal. Now, if you're doing a C type, 506C, then you're only doing accredited investors and you can advertise. And so if you ever see something online where they're like, buy into their syndication, you got to be accredited. And there's certain rules all around that. I decided not to do accredited. And so we just you had to be on the email list, which you can check out if you want to at furlo.com. And so that was something we did, but now it's closed, it's done. And I'm not in the process of raising money for anything else right now. So I can talk about it. And the way that we've structured it is I own 20% of it and my investors split the other 80% of it. And I decided that your ownership and the payout don't necessarily have to be the same, but in this case, they will be. Okay. I could have done some stuff to further goose returns. However, because it's a long-term hold, I wanted to say, we're just going to split it down, keep it really straightforward on the waterfall piece of it. But yeah, we had a couple, getting insurance was hard. Turns out people don't want to insure. Really weird. The word unique is a bad word in real estate, and this one 100% qualifies as unique because
you don't have any comparisons and you can't really determine what the risk is.
Lenders don't love that either. I initially went to the existing lender. I was like, hey, obviously you guys are already bought into this. Would you be interested in lending? It turns out that they had just gotten bought by a bigger lender. Oh. And so the person I was talking to was like, dude, I don't man, don't talk to us. I don't know what's going on. Yeah. I was like, okay. But I had a lender who I worked with on another property and they were awesome, super exciting. And so I told them about, they're like, yes, we're in. I was like, yes. Obviously we still had to go through all the process. And it was a thing. But yeah, they were excited about it. For the insurance thing, there's an Oregon plan that you can get that essentially says if everyone else rejects you, we'll do it. Oh. And so that was what I ended up going for because everyone else rejected me.
Back up to the backup.
And so that was.
But you have insurance.
That's the thing. But I've got it now.
There you go.
And yeah, that wasn't easy. The cell tower thing, man, that was there was just so much learning that had to happen. All the new terms and phrases. Yeah. I really recommend listening. Now, if you go back and listen to that podcast, this is the context for which it was.
Yeah.
And it was essentially, I did a double close. I bought the property and then I sold the easement all as one. And so it was kind of like everything was twice as complicated for it. We had an issue with the environmental report. So when you buy a commercial building, they want to always do some sort of environmental survey just to see where's that, like it's standard practice. And they call it a phase 1 environmental report. And it's, it's a few $1,000s, whatever, you got to do it. And so we did. And it came back saying like, hey, we have some, it was like, it recommended doing a phase 2 because there was a gas station that was across the street that back in like, whatever it was, 1989, had a gas tank leak. But in 1993, the DEQ gave it a no further action and NFA. But like, they're like, but it's still in use. Maybe there's vapors that are seeping through the ground and affecting it. And the bank was kind of like, all right, like, is recommending it. Let's go for it. This is like a 200 plus page report. I mean, it was like, it was unreal.
It's crazy
how big it was. And so this is one of those where I actually took the report, threw it into chat, and was like, I don't understand, like what's happening here? Because I'm doing the math. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is going to cost me thousands of dollars, and it's going to take my guess is a while to pull this off. Which whatever, it is what it is. But wow. So I throw it in there, and it explained everything that I just said. And so I wrote an email back to the bank and was like, look, I totally get it. Like, if we got to do this, fine. Let's go find quotes and figure out the timing. It is what it is. I'll just negotiate. But I just want to understand the situation. Like, I told him, I said, it sounds like the building itself is totally fine. The issue is the gas station across the street. There's a potential that has caused a problem with the building. But the building's fine, right? To which the bank, they wrote back and were like, yeah, now that you say it that way, you're right. You know what? Forget about it. We're going to, like, if there is a problem, that's the gas station's problem, like their liability, not ours. So we're good. We'll cancel the phase 2 request. All on. And that was like a 24-hour roller coaster ride of like, oh my gosh. Yeah, that one was pretty intense. And then just even getting the insurance at the end was another, like, because the type of insurance I got, it's not typically what the bank wants. And so it was like, are we cool? Are we okay? Which turns out the bank was totally fine with it. But it was like just another emotional roller coaster of it. When I was doing the cell tower stuff, I had to, like, I was talking to a bunch of people. Eventually I had to pick one. And it was interesting. Once I chose the one, all the ones who I said no to, like, they were all like, I don't want to say upset, but definitely like, dude, what the heck? Like, why'd you spend all this time talking to us if you weren't going to go with us? Like, I don't know.
I was learning.
I was just trying to figure it out. I genuinely didn't know who I was going with. Like, that was kind of a bummer, but that's all right. But yeah. Oh, and then I had my brokers who were awesome. Were initially going to roll their commissions into the deal. And then because of some other circumstances, weren't able to. So I had to scramble to find replacement investors. And thankfully a couple existing ones were like, oh, we can do more. And then a new one came in. And so it all worked out. But yeah, it's been a process and a half. It has
been a process.
But it's good. What was the other one? I registered it as a Delaware LLC. There's reasons for it. I don't think I'll ever do it again though. Or if I will start the process a whole lot sooner now that I know about it. Because it's like they do paper, that sort of thing. Like you register it and they're like, sweet, we'll send you it in the mail.
Oh my
Your
word.
Confirmation notice. Like, yeah, exactly. I was like, oh,
wait,
man.
Delaware, like the state?
Yeah.
Why?
Because they just have good LLC legal protections.
Interesting.
Oh, that's what I was advised to do, so I did it.
Oh, I didn't even know you could do that.
Yeah, so then I had to register as a foreign LLC in Oregon.
Yeah.
And so
Weird.
I think I'll have to do taxes in both states. I don't know. Plus, some of my investors are in other states. Like, I actually talked to it was funny, I reached out to my tax guy. I was like, hey, can you take on this project? And they're like, maybe. I'm like, oh, so I still may not be out of the woods yet. I still may have to find a tax accountant who's willing to do all the tax stuff for me. But
interesting.
My bookkeeper's awesome, so I don't have to worry about that. But yeah,
that's
man,
weird.
It's a thing. It's been complicated. Yeah. It's been good, but it's complicated. So I'm super excited about it. I think it's gonna be a lot of fun. Yeah, our plan is to go visit it pretty regularly, just as a family, to use the vacation rental as customers. We'll have to pay just like everyone else, which is fine. And yeah, no, I'm excited for it. I think it's gonna be a really cool deal. and it'll probably be one that I talk about for a while.
Yep.
Because it is neat, and the numbers are cool, and I'm excited. It's good.
It's awesome.
But yeah, so there it is.
Baker Tower.
So if you want in on the next one, which I don't have anything in the hopper yet, but if you do want in on the next one, either a long-term deal or a short-term deal, I actually do have a short-term one coming up. The best place to do that is to check us out at furlo.com. You can just learn all about our investment thesis, what we're about, what we're doing, and things like that. And then obviously sign up for that whole email list so you can find out about when those deals come, because I don't advertise them anywhere else.
Yep.
And so that's how you get them done. So thanks for listening, and have a great day.